Good morning.
Hey, do you know if Paul's gonna join, right?
I assume so. I didn't hear anything different.
Okay.
How was the conference last week?
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. 350 people registered. The plenary sessions got 100-ish people, a little over.
Uh-huh.
The other sessions got anywhere from 20 to 50, as you'd expect. So it was okay.
How many would you say that we had for our half-day session?
Probably 20-ish who weren't already involved.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, that's a start.
well, they were running 3 parallel tutorial sessions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think I counted 38 total. Were there at some point during the sessions, during the tutorial. But I think you're right. I think probably 10 or 12 of those were already members of OPI and presenting or something like that. But
right, that was kind of my impression.
yeah,
And
so
I think the main sessions got, I was thinking like 120
yeah, I think so. I think that was the main.
out of 350 registered, which isn't terrible. Might have been 150, but I didn't do a good count in the room.
I didn't either on the main session. So
Because that room capacity was probably, there were 8 rows of like 8 chairs times 2 sides.
yeah,
So something like that. So the room capacity was like, no, it must have been more than that. Room capacity must have been 180 or something. And it was about half full. It was a little over half full. So but I mean, overall it went well for that kind of a show, and for only the second time. It went pretty well. And the hallway conversations were very lively. There were people talking in the foyer quite a lot. They had
yeah, I think that's, as with most conferences, that was more important than the actual conference. The hallway conversations. Well, May, thanks to everyone who got the website up and running. It looks good. I think that
Yeah, it does look good. So I've asked Elena to join us maybe next week.
okay.
So that she can kind of walk us through how we would make updates to it. I just need to know, I think right now, myself, Shadar, and you, Paul, have access to the WordPress. I just need to know who else needs access so that we can get them logins, and then she can kind of walk us through in their next meeting how to update things.
Okay, good. If I have a login, I do not know it. So
Oh, I think she has sent in a mail your ID, Joe.
oh, if it's
so you can just go to the website and just say click with your ID and click forgot password or something like that. It will give you an option to set the password.
Yeah.
okay.
You have to reset your password because she just used whatever, but
Okay.
it isn't.
I'll admit I haven't opened my computer since Friday afternoon. So if she sent it, I may have not seen it.
So yeah, on this topic, I don't know, have you started the meeting already? Sorry.
Yeah, that we're yeah.
Okay, yeah, on this topic, we need to set up a process where members can share what changes they would want in the website. I don't know whether we create something like a Google Docs or Excel sheet, shared Excel sheet, where members can add, we can give access to all the members, whatever the changes they need in the website, they can just put in that Excel or something like that. We need to set up a process for members to give inputs for changes they need in the website. So that then we can share the same with all the TSC members also. If they want any change in the website, they can just put it there, whether it's an Excel or docs or anything like the shared document. Their needs in that shared document, so that we can take up whether we do the change or we can ask the creative service to do the change. How we do the change is secondary, but we need to first, within the project, we need to set up this process and make this process well known to all the members. Any suggestions, any thoughts on how do we achieve that? I think a simple shared Excel should be good, and put that in the GitHub document, the process document or somewhere. If you want any changes in the website, please put this in this Excel kind of thing.
Yeah,
Am I making sense?
it does make sense. I'm thinking if GitHub issues make sense, if that's another tracking mechanism.
True, but not. I don't know if everybody's familiar. I mean, not familiar. If they're comfortable with doing setting up, opening of the GitHub issues, it's okay. But some people would want a quicker thing, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. And so you're thinking, I'm just trying to think what you would put in an Excel spreadsheet that you would.
Similar to how the creative services team created the shared website and asked us to put the inputs, right?
Right.
Maybe we can do something similar. Just use the same columns and ask everybody to add their inputs required, so that we can track the status also. I mean, what is the current status? When was it put, and all those things.
Okay. I don't see any reason not to do it that way. I assume they've got this process that they're using with other projects as well. Do they have a template spreadsheet they use, or a template Google Doc that they use for this?
In the projects I'm part of it, because these changes are not so frequent. Just let me know or email.
Okay.
But that doesn't really keep track of the process thing. But yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Is there anyone else though that would need access to help make these changes? Usually, from other projects, usually there's one TSC person and one, someone from the governing board that has access to. So it's not just.
Got it. Not just the outreach.
Right.
working group. I don't know. We can ask in the TSC on Thursday if there's anybody who would like the ability to make changes directly into WordPress.
Okay.
Actually, we should ask, but let's ask in a different way. Let's say that we want someone who doesn't already have a OPI job to volunteer.
Okay.
From the TSC.
That would be good.
Or the general members, right? It can be TSC or general members, but we'll see if we can get somebody to volunteer. We'll see if we can maneuver someone into volunteering.
There you go. I like that.
Okay, perfect. And then should I ask Elena to come next week to present?
I think that would work. And then by then, hopefully we've got a volunteer from the TSC and I'll even put something out to the governing board asking for someone to volunteer, and she can show us how that's done.
Okay, perfect. So I'll ask her. Okay. And then speaking of governing board, how was the meeting yesterday?
Yeah, so we have few topics, and good thing is Joe is also in the call.
I
Oh,
I apologize. I thought we had moved it to not be on Juneteenth and for next week, but I see that we didn't. So
oh, I wasn't aware of the Juneteenth. Actually, I got to know only like last Friday or something. So it was too late for me to ask people about
got it.
And if we move it by another week, right, we may have to end up canceling the July meeting because it will be another just a week or so.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Anyway.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So the first thing is, before I come to the inputs from Joe itself, the first thing is on the, Arpit was in the call. So he mentioned that if the SmartNIC Summit participants can prepare a list of potential members with their names or contacts, something like they call it as a warm handoff, or there's a term that he used. He can ask our the BD guys to reach out to these folks for the membership for the free kind of thing, right? So
Well, yeah, it was just in general, right? So if we get candidates to join OPI, what
Yeah.
we should do is hand them off to Sridhar and Arpit for them to work their magic. I mean, again, if anything came up at the summit, that's fine, but if not,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I've asked the SmartNIC organizers for all of the stats that they can provide us, like how many people were registered from which companies, how many companies, that sort of thing. And if we can get a full attendee list, I'd like to get that too.
So just to be specifics, right? The way I'm looking at, I don't know, I want to call it as a low hanging fruit or something. For example, AMD or even Microsoft thing, if anybody had any discussion with these two organizations, if you have any contacts that our BD folks can reach out to them, that would be very helpful, I think.
Yeah, Joe, the one I mentioned was VMware, and because
Yeah, that's a good one. We should beat on those guys.
yeah, the presenter, can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he started the talk saying we need to do this. We need to
Yeah.
have something like this.
So I think it was Paul Turner, wasn't it?
Yeah, Paul Turner, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to send Paul Turner an email right now.
Okay.
And see if I can get, 20 or 30 minutes on his calendar. He's fairly senior at VMware.
Mm-hmm.
But I should be able to get 20 or 30 minutes on his calendar to talk about OPI. And if that talk goes the way I expect it to, which should go well, then I'll hand them off to Arpit. I'll basically put him or Sridhar and Arpit. And so let me send him an email right now while this meeting's going on.
Perfect. Codalign was another that was there at the show and seemed somewhat interested in what was happening with us. We think SoftBank is maybe ready. They weren't there at the show, but that's just separately. We've been talking, F5 has been talking to SoftBank, and they've echoed the need they've echoed the same pain points that caused us to start OPI.
Anybody from NEC were there?
I did not see anybody from NEC. And we've got NTT presenting to the TSC tomorrow, I think. So that'll be
I think it's the use case group
Oh, yes,
on Thursday, right?
Thursday, yes. Sorry, yes,
And they're supposed to make that meeting an hour to accommodate NTT.
okay,
And NTT is going to talk about the use of DPUs in all photonics network orchestrated by ION,
okay,
and what they want to do with basically data handling
mhm,
in a region, in a basically a small continent sized region like Japan.
yeah,
Imagine that. So that one will be interesting.
mhm,
I think we can probably get NTT to join
right.
if we want to.
I would say yes.
So, all right. So whoever talks to us on Thursday, we'll pass those names along, and Linux Foundation can start discussing with them.
I sent the slides that we used to the SmartNIC Summit organizers, so they should have those, and we'll post them. So that happened during the show. In some of the notes sections on the Q&A slide, I took notes of the questions that people raised, and when I could, who raised those questions. So if you, we can go back and reference those if we need to. Trying to think of anything else that.
And now that we have a website, we can start posting blogs.
Yes.
Do we want to have a recap of SmartNIC Summit, and we can add in some of the photos that you sent that I tweeted out and promoted on social?
I think that sounds like a great idea. I will take that, because I have to do the same sort of thing internally here at F5. I've got to write up, I've got to put together a summary.
Okay.
And a trip report. So I'll take that on, and I'll use the information that I get from the organizers, like the number of attendees, the number of sessions, the blah, all those stats, and be able to send them on.
Okay, awesome. When do you think you'll have something?
It's dependent on the SmartNIC Summit people. I think I'll have something like that written. I won't have it today. Today's a busy day. I have it probably Friday. Friday is when I have to travel again, Wednesday, Thursday. So
Okay.
it looks like Friday is my day to work on that.
Okay, perfect. So then we'll plan on posting sometime next week.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
Yeah. So next topic is on, this is what Joe brought up in the board meeting for the storage developer conference. So the deadline is on 23rd of June.
Is this the SNEA conference?
Yeah, this is SNEA Storage Developer Conference.
Okay.
Yes, LTC.
And the deadline is the end of this week now.
Okay,
They
good.
basically gave an extension, and tomorrow afternoon I'm going to ask for, because I know all those guys. I've been doing SDC as well for off and on for a very long time. I'll ask those guys if we should do DPUs for storage shared keynote or something, and like get us a Dash or some on the stage, to do short overviews, or I'll see if they have some short overview sections, because that's a good show to get information out. But we should also do storage API use case, not just use case, but
A
basically
demo.
API definition and show code and here's how it was actually used and so on, right? This is so storage developers who want to use DPUs, want to understand DPUs. We should go into the details of how OPI can help them use DPUs to do storage things.
So in prep for that, I wrote 2 different presentation proposals, an intro and a demo one.
Yeah, intro would be fine as well. But what I'm saying is we ought to do one that's and actually show the code, show how it works, say here's how you actually use it. And I don't know, I mean, maybe we get one of these guys who took IBTK and used the storage APIs, or I don't know, maybe for this one I actually see if Boris can travel and walk through the actual code and details.
Yeah.
Or we have somebody else who can do that. That I think would be really good. Now, an intro and then demo saying, hey, look, here's it working overall, and here's kind of the overall structure are perfectly fine as well. So
Yeah.
we could submit more than one, but the one that would really grab me is that detailed storage one.
Good. And we submitted both of these, an intro and a demo for OCP. So they've been
Resubmit. Yeah, so just submit them again for SDC. Easy, it's an easy form. And
can I submit you as the speaker for the intro?
sure.
And then we'll figure out who's going to do the demo one.
Yeah. And I'm actually technically on the agenda committee for that show, although I haven't done much this year. But I'm actually on the agenda committee. It's just the meeting times have been poor.
Got it.
So, I'll tell them, yeah, we got to do a couple of OPI ones. And maybe the demo one could be combined with a storage deep dive or something. I'll see what the reaction is.
Okay.
But yeah, that's good. Yeah, just go ahead. The link. Do you have the reference to submit, right, for SDC?
If you've got it, that would be great. I didn't.
Yeah, okay, move on. I'll find it and can come back to it if we need to.
Okay. How did the talk of members not Joe, you were going to bring up at the governing board about.
Yeah, I had resounding silence to everything I said except for Mr. Mike Lynch from Intel applauding me for not doing the right thing and using DPU as the terminology everywhere. So, we ended up with we don't do anything, and then Boris lectured us about wasting time.
Yes.
He was happy we didn't do anything. So, but I had resounding silence on the board call for pretty much everything else.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very surprising. Yeah.
And I didn't pin any company in particular.
Okay.
I made a role statement, but we'll see.
Good. I don't have anything else for today's call.
Oh, I have one more thing, which again, Joe had brought up in the board meeting. That's on the SNIA and the DPU SIG. There are some potential in future, if we are not ready today, to do some press interviews, potential are there for the Network Storage Forum, SNIA and DPU SIG.
Okay, so that's actually, okay, yeah, let me do one thing at a time here. Let me get the SDC.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, let me get the SDC one reference.
So while he does that, I do have two quick things.
Yep.
We had some media interest for interviews. The first one is a video interview with the company's called oh my gosh, what is it called? The TRIF, the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Swapnil Bharatia is a frequent open source, he is a friend of open source, and he frequently covers the Linux Foundation and all of our news and projects. And so we shared the press release with him when it came out, and he was interested in doing a video interview, but he's been traveling because he went to KubeCon and he has covered a few other LF conferences, and so he is back in the office now, and so we just need to schedule a volunteer speaker to meet with him and to kind of talk through ARM joining OPI and possibly doing like another like OPI overview, because I don't know that anyone from OPI has ever spoken to him yet.
Okay.
And so this would be good as like a good intro, an intro video clip. We will schedule 30 minutes, but the interview typically runs 15-20 minutes. And it's recorded through a platform that he uses, and so it's not Zoom, and it automatically records and downloads on his side. So really all you have to do is show up and answer some questions, which I will prepare the questions for you ahead of time, so you'll know what he'll ask and you won't be blindsided. I'll also be on the call as well and can jump in if the speaker is uncomfortable answering something, or just, any support that the speaker might need. So I'll be on the call as well.
Any suggestions on who ought to do that? Do they want to, is it a governing board member that they want to do this, a TSC member, or someone from the outreach committee, or just anybody?
It can be
Anybody can
anyone,
do it.
as long as they're an approved speaker on our side.
Okay,
So that type of topic should probably be Chris.
yeah,
Chris Murphy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Okay.
Okay, so. Okay, so the very last, so I put a bunch of stuff in chat. The very last link is the one to directly submit.
Got it. I have that tab open now.
All right, and then the other one I had was we were going to do an interview from the Network Storage Forum with a guy named Philip Alsop. And Philip Alsop is with Digitization World.
Okay,
So this is his name. Okay, so I posted the name because it's a wacky spelling.
I was right. That's how I spelled it. Woo.
Yeah.
Uh,
And we were going to do an interview. And here's the publication. but we canceled it. So Boris and I were going to do it because we realized all we were going to end up talking about is OPI. Because SNIA Network Storage Forum right now is just forming, and we don't have a lot of independent projects. I mean, you know, we have the sort of the same use cases, although from a SNIA point of view, I talk about them a different way, a little more emphasis on storage, and we're actually technically part of the compute memory storage interface, if you will, CMSI. So I think, you know, I think I think he's looking for content, and this is one where we could do an OPI interview. This is like, you know, a few short video segments as the interview.
Okay,
So we could reach out to him and say, you know, I mean, you can even say, you know, we, you know, because I'm on both, you can just say, you know, I don't know what you want to say exactly, but basically, hey, are you interested in doing one of your interview sessions for OPI? Because, you know, SNIA, you know, because you know, missed the one for SNIA. I don't know how you want to word it, but anyway.
okay. So, do you want me to reach out to him?
Probably you should, yeah.
Okay,
You should reach out to him on behalf of the Linux Foundation and say, hey, we have this OPI project, and, you know, I understand you have, you know, that you run a interview blog series, and, you know, we'd be interested in, you know, we'd be interested in doing that.
How technical is he, or is that another one that Chris would be appropriate for?
Well, I think we could discuss that with him. We could,
Okay.
I think we could do either, or maybe we do it in two parts, right? We do a sort of a top level businessy part, and then we do a news feature editor. Yeah, they're probably looking. Yeah, they cover everything.
Okay.
Yeah, news, videos, expert opinions. So this, you know, I think this is a good opportunity for us.
Okay.
okay, I will reach out to him and I'll keep you updated.
That was all I had.
Okay, that's all I had.
Good. Sridhar, did you have one more that we were waiting on, or was that it?
Oh, no, that was it. That was it. Thanks.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, thank you, folks. Have a good rest of your week. And I'll see you on the Thursday call.
Great,
Thank you.
thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Yeah.